What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thanks for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of you all who will, I appreciate it. Remember, the donation link is inside the description box. Also, make sure you go over to my other YouTube channel and check out Dawson Speaks TV. I appreciate it. Now let's get into this story. Now, David Beckham just got approved to have a Major League Soccer team, and he wants to bring that soccer team to Miami, which is wonderful. I have no problem with that, and a lot of people in Miami love soccer, people in South Florida, period. The only problem I have is where David Beckham and the David Beckham group want to put the stadium and eventually the parking garage, which is in a historic black town, which is Overtown in Miami. Now, a little history of Overtown. Overtown is a neighborhood of Miami, Florida, just northwest of downtown. Originally called Color Town during the Jim Crow era of the late 19th through the mid 20th century. The area was once the preeminent and is the historic center for commerce in the black community in Miami and South Florida. Now, many residents in the Overtown area spoke out against this because they know that not only are they going to have to deal with the traffic and everything and people in this area, because they're going to have more than just soccer events at this stadium, that they may lose their houses and be pushed out with David Beckham putting this stadium in this parking garage there. Now, I'm going to let y'all watch this video and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Obstacles coming to light the day after David Beckham's big announcement that Major League Soccer will return to Miami. The Beckham Group has property in Overtown where it plans to build a stadium. But as CBS 4's Gary Nelson reports, those plans are coming under attack.
Hello, Miami. Hola, hola, Miami.
Joy filled the air Monday as David Beckham officially was granted a Major League Soccer team. A team planning to play in this stadium, to be built on 9 acres in Overtown near the river. But opposition to the stadium is building. Amanda Hand lives here in Springtree, not even a block as the crow flies from the stadium site.
I'm going to hear the roar of 25,000 fans. They're proposing about 40 events, only 20 of which will be soccer games. So the balance, 20 events, they're going to be concerts.
She's part of a growing backlash against the Overtown site, including those who think the stadium, empty more than 300 days a year, could depress an area trying to revitalize.
A stadium currently slated to only bring 50 jobs in the community doesn't appear to have any economic benefit that's going to revitalize this community.
And there is no parking lot, no parking plan in this plan. Those who live in surrounding low-income housing fear being displaced by a parking garage.
We've been there all our lives, and for them to just come out here and want to try to push us out of our own neighborhood, it's not right.
The city of Miami will have to approve zoning changes and permits to allow the stadium. The mayor dodging the debate for the moment.
So I think it's a little premature to get to those things. As soon as we know, we'll comment on those things.
And there are more shots being fired at the stadium plan. Bruce Matheson of the philanthropic Matheson family, who blocked expansion of the Miami Open on Crandon Park, forcing it to move to Hard Rock Stadium, is suing, claiming the county violated the law in selling public land to Beckham's group with no bids and an old appraisal.
Mr. Matheson's lawsuit, we think, is frivolous, has no basis, and we think we're going to win in the end. Actually, very, very confident we're going to win in the end.
Win, a sports metaphor in the debate over a sports venue.
If David Beckham expects to have a soccer stadium up and running on this property in just 3 years, well, time's wasted and there are lots of bureaucratic goals to be met, and it doesn't promise to be pretty. In Overtown, Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
A Miami neighborhood awoke to the realities of a Major League Soccer stadium possibly rising in their backyard. There was a town hall meeting tonight, and there was definitely a lot to talk about. CBS 4's Hank Tester live in Overtown with more. Hank.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. The county says that they will not tear down the housing development here to make way for a parking garage for David Beckham's stadium. But locals here aren't so sure. Let's take a look.
Does Dade County HUD, powers that be, have plans in the mix at any level to demolish this property to replace it with a parking lot or anything that will be beneficial to the soccer stadium or to the Beckham group?
No. Put it in writing.
Yes, we want it in writing.
A fired-up crowd from the Comer Place public housing facility. It's located right next door to where David Beckham is proposing to build his Overtown soccer stadium. Residents leery. Just after the announcement came that Beckham had been granted a franchise, notices appeared on the doors of Comer Place, appearing to be eviction notices. They were fakes.
Listen, we say we're sorry, but there was a greater good that was at foot. It was not to alarm you, it wasn't to scare you, but it was to get your attention.
Those fake notices did not go down well with the residents nor with the county housing director.
I was outraged. I was disappointed that some group would misinform our residents.
The fake eviction notices took their toll, evident at the community meeting.
I don't want people to be displaced from their homes.
Beckham Stadium plans call for minimal parking, and that leaves these folks suspicious. The county housing boss speaking to CBS 4's David Sutta.
Do the folks at Comer Place have anything to worry about?
No.
But those who live here not buying that.
I think in the long run, they're going to skittle and scatter, and eventually all of this is going to be parking lot.
Well, this group will get together once again February the 12th. They feel this issue is not over with. That's the very latest tonight. I'm Hank Tester, CBS 4 News. Back to you.
All right, y'all. Now let's go in. First of all, let me say this. The one thing I appreciate the news people for doing their job and actually bringing attention to this particular subject. But let me tell you something. There are people who have homes in Overtown. Not everyone is on HUD or living in housing projects. There are people who have homes, black people who have had homes passed down from generations. And this is part of what I saw years ago when they started building up Wynwood and other places around the design district and things around the Overtown area, that they were going to push the people in Overtown further south into Homestead, Florida City, Naranja, anywhere, Cutler Ridge, Goulds, all those places, or push them towards Fort Lauderdale because they want to get that area around downtown. And above that, Midtown, Wynwood, the Design District, they want all of that to be like new Miami. And Overtown to them is just, it's just, okay, we got it was called Color Town, and we got these black people there around Design District and around these areas, but that's what they want to push them out. And this whole David Beckham thing that they're talking about putting this stadium there, that is exactly what's going to happen. The people in those housing facilities, as well as people who have homes there, you know, eventually you all are going to be pushed out of that area. If David Beckham gets that particular lot and builds that garage, that is what's going to happen. And this makes me so angry, not only because the news people acted like it was just projects there. And I know, because I have clients, I have 3 clients who are in Overtown. I go in Overtown in that area. There are houses there, and black people have houses there, as well as you saw the Hispanic woman who lived in the area that's near Overtown. It's connected to it, where they have other Latin people who stay there as well too. The one thing that bothers me about this is that you have a lot of people, and I'm talking to my black people now, black people who are, and I appreciate Terrence and the other young man who talked, but Terrence, man, you know, I told him a long time ago he needs to go ahead, that's our boy right there, he needs to go ahead and run for, he wanted to be the mayor of Overtown, which I think he would be awesome at doing that, as you heard him on the news. The only thing is, man, I don't know what you got up on your head right there, but I'm gonna let that slide, bro. But you should go ahead and do that, man, because the politics there, I'm telling you, the people who want to have involvement in this stadium and in Overtown, many of those black politicians, they don't live in Overtown, so they don't care if it comes or goes. A lot of them just want to line their pockets with dollars. They don't care about the people there. They don't care about the historic significance that Overtown has or is. They don't care about that. And many times, a lot, and I'm saying this to my black people down here in South Florida, especially in Miami, a lot of times, once we get our degrees, and I thank God I got me one too, when we start working, then we can move into certain areas and around certain areas, we forget our own stuff. But the Hispanic people are not forgetting about little Havana. They're not forgetting about their areas. They're not forgetting about the stuff they have down there on 8th Street. But we forget about our stuff. We don't care about that. Long as we have the Lyric Theater, which they beautified. It's a nice facility now. They have, I think it's First Fridays events there. People come, they have comedy shows, and people like it. Oh, we going down to Overtown, trying to bring that entertainment aspect back to it, which is cool. But if this man puts that stadium there, Overtown is not gonna, what we know as Overtown will be no more. And it makes me upset because we have these shows down here and we have these celebrities down here who say things like, there's no racism in Miami. We're all good. We're all that. And we have celebrities who represent so hard for Miami, but they don't do anything like this. They don't get out here and protest for this. And I'm talking a lot too about, well, Uncle Luke does do something. And let me just say it. Trick Daddy and Trina. And I know somebody said they are entertainers. They are this. But when you have entertainers who get up on a major platform and they say stupid things like this, it bothers me. Listen.
Let's talk about the racism in Miami, because I know that we explore that.
We don't have racism in Miami. Our racism in Miami is us against the police.
Okay.
And I can honestly say that the black folk of Miami, we have just gotten to the point where we're starting to stick together, because we was for a long time our worst enemies.
Right.
Everybody have their own neighborhood.
Now, y'all heard what Trick said, and let me just back up. Trina didn't say anything, and I don't think she really kind of agreed with him. She just stayed quiet on that. So I'm not really going to put her name in this. I'm just going to deal with Trick. That whole disposition about there's no racism in Miami. There's no racism that you don't feel, buddy, because you have supposedly money. You're on Love and Hip Hop Miami. You get to mingle with these people because they're thinking they're going to connect with you in certain ways. Or you have a following, but you really don't represent the life of the average black male down here in Miami. Seriously. You can get up on Love and Hip Hop and put on these facades and all these airs and show glimpses of this part of Miami or where I grew up here and where I grew up there. But Trick, you're not there every day, buddy. And that's the only problem I have with that. That's the only problem I have with this whole Love and Hip Hop thing. If y'all gonna show something real, show y'all fighting for something to help these people out in Overtown. Let that be season 2. How you and Trina or Pretty Ricky or Shay the Proprietor, y'all gonna come down here and help these people out in Overtown. Show that. That's what I'm saying. Because see, I think a lot of people get into this whole illusion that Miami is just South Beach. And Miami, let's go down to South Florida. Let's go to Fort Lauderdale Beach. Oh, the beach, the palm trees. That is BS. What's going on this news clip right here? Them people fighting for a place to stay, not only just in the projects, and I hate the fact that they only show projects there, but people saying, look, I matter too. And I always go off on the pastors, but that pastor who passed out the eviction notice, Pastor James, I understand exactly what you were doing. And you were letting them know, hey, this is going to happen if we don't act now. If y'all don't stay woke, this is what's going to happen. And let me say this. Down here in Miami, we have 2 prominent people who always speak out. Pastor James, this is my first time seeing you on this. And, it seems like you're doing this from your heart because you've been really trying to, engage the people in that community to, hey, don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this. But there are only 2 major people, especially when it comes to black people, who always speak down here in Miami or who always stand up. And that's Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. Y'all know Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. She down here fighting for the people. And Bishop Victor T. Curry. Those are the only 2 people I know down. Every other black person down here, God is my witness, that I'm telling y'all, it's just shucking and jiving with them. Those are the only two people I know, and besides this pastor I saw, that really have a heart for the people down here in Miami. Now, in conclusion, let me go ahead and wind down now. I just want the black people, and especially, you know, Hispanic people in the surrounding areas or whoever in those areas who will be affected by this stadium in a negative way, being in this area with the traffic, with the other events they're going to have at the stadium, to speak out, go to these meetings, pull together. And especially the black people here who know the historical significance of Overtown, known as Color Town back in the day. Don't let them take that away from us, because if it was any other people and their historical town or whatever, they will stand up and fight. They will always be going up towards the news. And when I look at the people in the Comer place, I appreciate them for standing up, but there are more people around there who should have been at that meeting or standing up as well. I also appreciate my boy Terrence for getting up here talking too. And I'm serious, Terrence, go ahead and run for mayor, man. Seriously, they need young people in there doing it. We can't just sit back and just let things like this happen. And then the only thing we're so concerned with, which a lot of people down here are concerned with, what's in it for me? And even some of the celebrities. You know, I don't even think they would even help these people here, because they would think of siding with David Beckham because, oh man, I can get a deal. I could perform at the stadium. I could do this. They wouldn't even care about Overtown or the people there. You know, and let me just say this too. I know I mentioned love and hip hop. I got nothing against them people and all that kind of stuff. Their money and their fame. Hey, do what you do. But if you're going to be on there representing about Miami and keeping it real, represent right, man. Especially when some of y'all have come from these places and you turn your back on the place you grew up in. When these people who are in this area need you the most, not only for them, but some of these football players and some people who have, you know, they've done well in their careers and stuff, and they just forget about their areas. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much, man. But look here, y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. I will keep you all up to date on this. And remember, please, as they say, stay woke, man. Please stay woke. Till next time, it's your guy Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other. Hoping to get out of here and go to work. Peace.